This is Bob Barr bringing you today's edition of Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe. Today, we're going to be looking at law number 110, which is that re-education is just around the corner on another headline. Recently, we've seen very clearly that our mainstream media, government agencies, and woke corporations have decided there's a real problem in our culture. They don't like what they see. They don't like traditional American patriotism. They don't like the patriarchal family, that is the traditional family structure. They don't like free enterprise. They don't like individualism. So what have these woke corporations, government agencies, and the mainstream media decided to do? Well, they've launched a war against our culture. And one of the ways that they do this is through re-education. Now, re-education is something that we've seen over the decades, primarily as a tool used by totalitarian governments, communism in the Soviet Union, communism in Castro's Cuba, socialism. And the fact that it doesn't work, of course, does not stop and has never stopped its proponents from trying to force re-education down the throats of its citizens. One of the latest tools here in the United States that we see these woke corporations using is to push this notion of white privilege. That is the notion that if you are white, that is, you've been part of mainstream America, historically speaking, one supposes, then you have privilege to which you're not entitled. So Disney Corporation, which was founded by Walt Disney back in the 1940s and 1950s, was based on notions of entrepreneurship. Walt Disney was a tremendous entrepreneur. He also understood the free market. If you give people what they would like to have, that is, phenomenal amusement parks and very, very worthwhile movies such as Snow White, such as Lady and the Tramp, some of those old movies, Bambi and so forth, that people will come to see them. That's the free market. However, that does not sit well with the woke leadership at Disney Corporation now in this 21st century. So what have they set out to do? In accord with Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, number 110, they have decided to re-educate. So they are forcing employees to take courses on white privilege, denigrating whiteness. They have changed the culture. I mean, look at this stuff. White privilege, white supremacy, white fragility, for heaven's sake. Acting less white. This is something that the CocaCola Corporation, headquartered in my home state of Georgia, is pushing. So they're forcing employees to answer questions on their whiteness and on their privilege in order to make them feel bad and in order to lord it over them that if you are not white, you are better than somebody that is white. We used to have a name for this. It's called racism. And that's really what this new culture is all about, this denigration of American culture. It really has nothing to do with proponents of expanding society's opportunities. It has nothing to do with individualism and protecting individual rights. It has to do with mass re-education of a society to reform it into an image that is totalitarian in nature and in practice. So this is not something that we should take lightly. What these leftists are doing in these woke corporations, at government, at all levels, in our higher education and even lower education classes, and through the mainstream media is they are trying to destroy American culture and American history as we know it and as we have learned it, and as the facts substantiate it and support it, to tear that down and reconstruct our society in the image of a socialist nation and a socialist culture. This needs to be fought. It needs to be addressed head on and use all the tools available to us, such as no longer attending Disneyland, no longer going to and paying for the movies by these companies. So, Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe, re-education is just around the corner, and another headline is serious. We must fight it. And I thank you again for being a part of our program today. And please join us next time for another Bob Barr's Laws of the Universe.